Welcome to Balance. In this session, we're going to think about what affect is. To me, affect is bigger than bodily emotion. It is sort of lively vibration that might originate from your body and brain, but most probably originate on the outside of you. It might originate in your partner, friends, or a child. And those of you who have children know how strong their emotions are. It might originate in a group you belong to or a social structure, small like a group of friends, or big like the country you live in. It's the vibration that we are interested in, and it's the vibration that we are going to work in these sessions. I'll explain that later. Even a thought, it has got an underlying affect. And in fact, there is a dilemma, a bit like a chicken and an egg dilemma. What's first? Whether the thought is first or the affect. In my work, I assume that affect precedes thoughts and behavior, which means that you might feel something first before thinking about something or acting upon it. And we're going to use different techniques to work practically with affect. It's a practical program that addresses the vibration in your body. We're going to use mindfulness sessions, mindfulness meditations, guided visualization, journaling, some behavioral tasks, and more. Let's now move into a small practice. Let's pause for a moment. You might pause this recording if you wish and think about what you feel right now, where it is in your body. Is it in your neck, shoulders, legs, your chest? Would you give it a color or an image? How difficult was it to identify that? If you felt calm, peace, kindness, or even uneasiness, fearfulness or anxiousness, that's all good. And if you feel it's quite easy to feel an affect, it means that you are firmly in touch with your feelings. If it's difficult, and this is a pattern for you, if it's difficult to feel, it might mean that you are slightly detached from your feelings. My advice is that if you feel affect in your body, start with what you feel. Start with what's in your body and follow a blue path in this program. If you have difficulties with feeling your body, perhaps dissociating slightly, or unpleasant feelings are overwhelming, you might start with yellow path in this program. In yellow path, there will be body sensation, muscle relaxation, progressive muscle relaxation, and most importantly, guided meditation on positive affect. Now, let's think about where affect comes from. And I hope it's not going to sound odd, but I would like you to imagine that you are a fish and you are swimming in the lovely and fresh water in the ocean. You might feel a sense of joy and freedom, or even an overwhelming sense of vastness. Now imagine that you are the same fish, swimming in a lovely tank, with plenty of food and great plants. You might feel contained and safe. What's going to happen when you are the same fish in a tank that is dirty and have no food? You might feel deprived, angry, or in despair. You are the same fish with the same biology, but you are swimming in different water and in different container. What if you are a different fish among the same kind of fish, looking differently or behaving differently? How would you feel about that? I hope now you're starting to understand my way of thinking and what I mean saying that affect is a lively vibration that might originate on the outside of you and in many circumstances does originate on the outside. What is happening to you when you swim in a tank that is deprived in the clean water and food? A process of internalization may happen, more to a younger brain, but also when you're an adult. You might internalize a belief that you are simply a worse fish than other fish, and that you don't deserve somehow what others have in. What if your mom and dad fight or get divorced in the tank as they can't withstand the pressure of having a family in an impoverished or polluted tank? You might feel that it's your fault when things do not go well. You might feel very unsafe. Your nervous system might be affected, and the feeling of fear might be triggered easily, even in your adult life. What if the whole tank is dirty and poor, and some sort of big hostile fish takes over and is in power for decades? The fear might be running through the waters. All fish will be suspicious and anxious. How would that affect you as a baby fish? Let's go through a different scenario now. What if it's the opposite? The tank is very prosperous. Fish families have all they need, but they believe that their tank is better than other tanks and try and exploit other tanks. How would that affect you living in the prosperous tank? What if the life in the tank that have what if you live in a tank that has a limitless capitalistic framework? The structure would use your desires and dreams to sell you stuff. For example, the framework would stir your fantasies about fish relationships and where fish should live and what they should have. What sort of beliefs would you internalize? If your relationship with your fish partner would not look like the one that is advertised, how would that make you feel? And finally, what about our workplaces? Let's imagine that they are like a lake. We swim together. The water of the organization affects us all, and its values and atmosphere affects us. The affect enters us on the inside. What sort of affect enters you in your workplace? Please treat what I said as an inspiration to think about your family structure, groups, and social structure you're functioning in. And at some point, you might want to journal about that. Now we are going to move to short, practical exercise. Focus on one main feeling that is calling your attention right now. How does it feel in your body? What's the sensation? Would you imagine it as a color or an image? Listen to that affect. Whatever it communicates, whether it's fear, anger, despair, sense of helplessness, or even a need of freedom. It's not about acting the affect out. It's about finding a balance. And now try to find an opposite affect to the one. Not a logical opposite, but something that feels like an opposite in your body. So, for example, when I'm thinking about my fear in my legs, the opposite for me would be a sense of calm and sense of being grounded in my back. And if you can't find an opposite, focus on a sense of compassion and kindness. Compassion to yourself Compassion means to suffer with, to accompany others. Let yourself be with yourself, with your pain. And how does the compassion feel? What's the sensation in your body? Where is it in your body? Perhaps it has a color or an image. Stay in that space of compassion. Allow yourself be. You're not responsible for what's inside of you. You're responsible for your response, and your response is compassion. Now allow yourself to hold those two spaces in your body at the same time. The place of pain and the opposite. For example, compassion. And observe what's happening to you when you're holding those two places at the same time. Allow yourself to stay with the feeling of compassion today. Memorize where it is in your body. And come back to that feeling today as often as you can. Well done for now, and I'll see you in the next session.